Evening, I am Tammy Reed in with your VON Major News Package for today, Tuesday, 2nd October 2018. In our lead stories nationally, Nevis Island Administration provides office for opposition, and Charleston Secondary School winner of Independence 35 debates. Regionally, 22-year-old Trinidadian who tried to steal plane in Florida to be deported to Trinidad and Tobago. Internationally, death toll rises to nearly 1,350 regarding Indonesia tsunami. And in sports, Kemar Roach gets all-format West Indies contract. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse.
Wrong.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, has indicated that his Concerned Citizens Movement, CCM-led Nevis Island administration, has made accommodation for the office for the Honorable Joseph Parry. Premier Brantley, who made the announcement at his monthly press conference today, Tuesday, 2nd October, said that this decision was part of his One Nevis policy and also good governance.
Whilst constitutionally we have no leader of the opposition, we have nevertheless, as a government, decided that we will make the necessary resources available for an office for the opposition. And I'm delighted today to announce that we have made all of the necessary arrangements and that Mr. Parry now has a fully functional office that the NIA is providing. I believe it's $5,800 per month to support that office.
The Honorable Premier also indicated that his administration has provided all the necessities for the office.
We have a member of staff that has been hired to be his support staff at that office. We've provided computer equipment, we've provided printer, scanner, and the works. I would hope that even our harshest critics would admit that this is a good step forward in terms of the governance structure of the island of Nevis. And I'm very proud that we have been able as an administration to deliver on that commitment, and I hope that Mr. Parry, if he's listening, is comfortable in this office that has been provided to him and the support that has been given to the opposition.
Honorable Mark Brantley. Honorable Joseph Parry is sole elected member of the Nevis Reformation Party, NRP, after the party lost the 2017 election to the CCM party 4 seats to 1. The Charlestown Secondary School was adjudged the winner of the Ministry of Social Development Independence debates. The debates were based on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. In the first debate, which featured the Charlestown Secondary School and the Gingerland Secondary Schools, Charlestown emerged winners with Brianja Liebert of the Charlestown Secondary School adjudged the best speaker. They debated the topic, the over-reliance of fossil fuels represents the greatest threats to the sustainable development in the Caribbean. In debate number 2, Charlestown emerging winner against the Nevis Sixth Form College with Dahlia Slack of the Charlestown Secondary School emerging the best speaker in that debate. The topic for that debate was the sustainable economic growth of Nevis will be best attained via its Federal Union of St. Kitts and through a separate path for independence. The events were held on Saturday 22nd September and Saturday 29 September respectively at the Nevis Performing Arts Center, NEPAC. The debates were held as part of the Independence 35th anniversary of St. Kitts and Nevis, which was observed on September 19, 2018. Minister of Physical Planning and Environment in the Nevis Island Administration, Honorable Spencer Brand, will introduce two bills when the Nevis Island Assembly sits in chambers at Hamilton House on Thursday, October 4, 2018. According to the order paper circulated by Ms. Myra Williams, Clerk of the Assembly, the Nevis Physical Planning and Development Control Amendment Bill 2018 will replace the Nevis Physical and Development Control Ordinance Chapter 6.09N and the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2018 will replace the Nevis Investment Promotion Agency Ordinance Chapter 6.12N. The sitting will begin with the formal entry of Her Honor Hailita Liburd, Deputy Governor General of Nevis, followed by prayers, a motion for approval of the order paper as circulated, messages from the Deputy Governor General, announcements by Honorable Farrell Smithen, President of the Assembly, papers to be laid, statements by ministers, personal explanations, and the introduction of bills and first reading before adjournment. The sitting will be the fourth since the Nevis Island Assembly's first sitting in January 2018. Two Nevision students are among a group of 8 new students who were inducted into the Susanna Lee High School Scholarship Program on Thursday, 27 September 2018 during a ceremony held at the East St. John Payne Annex Social Security Headquarters in Bastia. In its 35th year, the scholarship program will benefit the following students from 1st to 5th form and on to local colleges upon acceptance. The two are Jacori Isaac of the Charlestown Secondary School and Tyra Phillip of the Gingerland Secondary School. The Susanna Lee High School Scholarship is one of 3 scholarship programs operated by the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board. The other 2 are the Robert E. Manning MBE University Scholarship and the Stanley Amory Technical Scholarship. Since 1983, the Social Security Board has been offering high school scholarships to students with great potential and who, without the necessary support, may not realize their fullest potential. The program has a growing scholarship alumnus of 204 students, and to date, Social Security has invested over $2.2 million in the education of the nation's future. In police news, an autopsy was performed on the body of the late Shaquem Norford. Forensic pathologist Dr. Valerie Alexandrov performed the post-mortem examination on September 29, 2018. Dr. Alexandrov concluded that his death was as a result of a single gunshot wound to the head. Preliminary investigations reveal that Norford was sitting in a yard in the Shadwell area on September 25, 2018. An unknown assailant went up behind him and shot him in the head. He succumbed to his injuries at the scene. His murder was recorded as the 21st homicide for 2018. An investigation is currently underway to find the perpetrator in the matter. Meantime, police are investigating an incident in which a man was fatally stabbed. Police receive a report of a body being found lying in a drain on Branch Street at about 6:25 a.m. on Monday, October 1st. According to a police communique, police responded, and upon arrival, they found the motionless body of John Gomes of Pond Road with what appeared to be multiple stab wounds to the abdomen. Therefore, police are making an appeal to anyone who might have any information in relation to this incident to call the Violent Crimes Unit at 467-1887 or their nearest police station. Tactical Commander and Superintendent Adolph Adams has reassured the public that his team is committed to ridding communities around the Federation of drugs, firearms, and ammunition. The unit has been instrumental in the discovery and interdiction of drugs, firearms, and ammunition during several operations. Their efforts, along with the efforts of other units and agencies, have led to some 33 weapons being taken into police custody. Superintendent Adams stated, "There are too many guns on our streets and in our communities. The recent spate of shootings and the effort of my officers in the recovery of illegal firearms prove that. With special training for such undertakings, the unit continues to seek out drugs, firearms, and ammunition in their quest to ensure a safer St. Kitts and Nevis. However, he acknowledged that there was much more work to be done. Finally, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris will be hosting his monthly press conference on Thursday, October 4th at 10 a.m. The conference will be held at the Parliamentary Lounge at Government Headquarters in St. Kitts. During the forum, the Prime Minister will once again update citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis on matters of national interest. Members of the press corps will be given the opportunity to ask questions for the benefit of the listening and viewing public. That's our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on our social media page on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
Home. It means something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are, a place where you can be yourselves, a place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. A Trinidadian aviation student who tried to steal an American Airlines plane at an airport in Florida last month is to be deported to the island of his birth on October 3, 2018, and will be barred from entering the United States again under a plea deal he reached with prosecutors. In the early hours of September 20th, Nishal Sankat, the 22-year-old aviation management student at Florida Institute of Technology, got out of his car, which he left idling outside the Melbourne International Airport, jumped the perimeter fence and boarded a plane which had been parked for maintenance. He was confronted by a maintenance supervisor and a technician aboard the aircraft and was subsequently arrested by police. The incident triggered an airport security lockdown which lasted 5 hours. Prosecutors said Sankat planned to steal the plane to harm himself. He pleaded guilty to the charge of burglary on a conveyance. Prosecutors dropped charges of trespassing and grand theft. He was sentenced to time served at the Brevard County Jail Complex, 12 days, where he had been on suicide watch, and ordered to pay US $909 to cover the cost of the Melbourne Airport Police Department investigation into the incident, which took place at the Melbourne International Airport in Orlando, Florida. News from the British Virgin Islands. A 28-year-old East End man allegedly burglarized his employer's Rogues Bay home during the course of an hour, which he claimed was a bathroom break. Kyle Maronville allegedly committed the burglary between the 2nd to the 7th day of May. Based on information from the local media, during Baronsville visit arraignment before the magistrate court, prosecutors reported that the accused man was hired as a temporary construction worker to conduct repairs on his employer's property. The court heard that just before the alleged heist, Baronsville excused himself for about 60 minutes, claiming he had to urinate. It was during his absence that he allegedly entered the premises and stole a wallet containing $200, 2 gift cards, a gold bracelet, and among other valuables, all amounting to $1,998. The matter was subsequently reported to the police, and the accused man was arrested and charged. He is to return to court on October 17th to answer the charge. News from Grenada. Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell has condemned the level of stealing taking place in the local hospitals by doctors, nurses, and other support staff at one of the island's hospitals. Last week, while he was attending the United Nations General Assembly meeting in Brooklyn, he denounced the actions at a town hall meeting. Mitchell, flanked by Minister for Health Nicholas Steele, nodding his head in agreement, said, "We could out 100 more doctors, 100 more nurses, and the mindset of the people and the level of incompetence, the level of stealing taking place in the hospital. The more you buy things, the more they steal. It's a fact." According to Grenada's Prime Minister, "We've got doctors doing it, we've got nurses doing it, we've got orderlies doing it, security people doing it. The more meat you buy, more meat disappear." Meantime, following the comments from the Prime Minister, the Junior Doctors Association of Grenada quickly responded to Mitchell's statements, saying, "We are profoundly aggrieved by the slanderous claims made by the nation's leader that smears all staff as dishonest and incompetent." Finally, news from St. Lucia. The World Bank's Board of Executive Directors has approved US $20 million from the International Development Association for strengthening St. Lucia's public health care system by improving efficiency, accessibility, and responsiveness of key health services. The Health System Strengthening Project will roll out a package for health services, introduce financial incentives to improve service delivery, as well as upgrade health infrastructure and scale up preparedness and response for public health emergencies. Specifically, the project aims to ensure that at least 100,000 people on the island of 1,078,000 inhabitants are registered to the National Health Scheme by the end of the project. It also ensures that at least 60% of diabetic and hypertensive patients over 18 years old are treated according to national protocols in public primary health care facilities. In addition, primary health care centers will be equipped to serve as the first point of detection for selected infectious diseases. The project is financed by a US $20 million credit from the International Development Association with a final maturity of 40 years and a 10-year grace period. That's it for our regional stories. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. The number of people known to have died in Indonesia in Friday's earthquake and tsunami has risen to 1,347, disaster response officials say. The death toll jumped today from a previously confirmed figure of 844. The 7.5 magnitude wave struck just off the central island of Sulawesi, setting off a tsunami that engulfed the coastal city of Palu. Police are guarding shops against looters as people desperately search for food, fuel, and water. Officers initially took a lenient approach to survivors seizing basic goods, the Deputy National Police Chief said, but some people have since been arrested for stealing computers and cash. Humanitarian relief convoys entering the city are being escorted by soldiers and police. There are also fears some survivors may still be trapped under the rubble of buildings. Online retailing giant Amazon is raising pay for hundreds of thousands of workers in the US and the UK. Amazon's lowest paid US workers will receive $15 an hour. In the UK, pay will rise from £8.20 an hour in London to £10.50, while outside London the rate rises from £8 an hour to £9.50. The move comes after criticisms of employment practices, with complainants over its warehouse working conditions. Amazon has also been attacked by campaigners for how much tax it pays. The company is one of the biggest companies in the world, worth about $1 trillion. Its founder, Jeff Bezos, is the world's richest man with a fortune estimated at some $150 billion. The new pay rate starts on November 1st, 2018, and will apply to all staff, full and part-time, as well as temporary and seasonal workers. The move will benefit 250,000 workers in the U.S., 17,000 workers in the UK, and tens of thousands of seasonal workers. U.S. First Lady Melania Trump has visited a hospital in Ghana's capital, Accra, at the start of her solo trip that will see her visit 4 African countries. Earlier at the airport, she was welcomed by dancers and drummers, but the public reaction has been low-key. The tour, which also takes in Kenya, Malawi, and Egypt, will focus on promoting health and education. In February, a row broke out after President Donald Trump allegedly used a derogatory word to describe African nations. Mrs. Trump's week-long trip to the continent is seen as helping to heal some of the divisions. The visit, alongside Ghana's First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, to Accra's Ridge Hospital, set the tone for the trip as a whole. She is also set to promote her Be Best initiative, which aims to tackle issues such as cyberbullying and boost healthy living. She tweeted that the campaign was going internationally. Ahead of her trip, Mrs. Trump said that she was looking forward to visiting 4 beautiful and very different countries in Africa. Finally, President Trump has said he wants the FBI to conduct a very comprehensive investigation into sexual assault allegations against his Supreme Court nominee, but not a witch hunt. U.S. media reports earlier suggested the White House wanted to restrict the inquiry into Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Mr. Trump said he had requested that the FBI be given free rein, but added, "I'd like it to go quickly." Judge Kavanaugh's friend, Mark Judge, has been interviewed by agents. A lawyer for Mr. Judge, a childhood friend of Mr. Kavanaugh, said on Monday that his client's interview has not been completed. Mr. Judge's testimony is considered key to the investigation, as Professor Christine Baisley Ford says he was in the room when Brett Kavanaugh allegedly assaulted her at a house in 1982. Mr. Judge has not appeared before the Senate Judiciary Committee, but said in a statement, "I do not recall the party described in Dr. Ford's letter." That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Nature has its natural course, and there's nothing we can do about that. Right? Well, you're wrong.
Let TDC Insurance help you when nature strikes by rebuilding your damaged property and getting you back on your feet in no time. This is why you need to ensure your property investment is fully covered with insurance from TDCIC. We've got your back. Visit us on the corner of West Independence Square Street and Bank Street. TDC Insurance Company, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In cricket, fast bowler Kemar Roach is back on a central contract for West Indies and was one of 4 players offered all-format contracts for 2018-2019 as per the list announced by Cricket West Indies CWI on Monday. The other 3 are captain Jason Holder, batsman Shai Hope and pacer Alzarri Joseph, all of whom had all-format contracts in the previous cycle too. 30-year-old Roach resumed his role as West Indies bowling spearhead over the past year after being dropped on form in 2016. He was recalled in July 2017 and since then has taken 41 wickets in 11 tests at 22.58 and 10 wickets from 5 ODIs at 18.60. CWI also handed out red ball, white ball and development contracts for men in keeping with the new system that was announced in January and 12 women's contracts. In football, England under-19 forward Jadon Sancho has signed a contract extension to commit himself to Borussia Dortmund until 2022. The 18-year-old winger joined the Bundesliga side from Manchester City for about £10 million in August 2017. In 124 minutes on the pitch this season, Sancho has assisted more goals, 6 than anyone else in Europe's top 5 leagues. He added, "Everything turned out to be true. This city lives football like no other." In athletics, after an unforgettable fight along the 1,074 meters of climb, Kenya's Jeffrey Gigoni Ndongu took the men's victory at the Adel Holsen Hochfällen mountain race, while Austria's Andre Meyer won the women's race in Bergen on Sunday 30th, the fourth of 5 stages in the WMRA Mountain Running World Cup, which was held in Andorra. Ndongu was joined in by Eritrea Philemon Abraham at the start of the 9 kilometers race, chased by Francesco Poppi and UCF Tekel. An amazing crowd of fans cheered the final rush up to the Hochfällen peak, where Ndongu, who had given a knockout blow to Poppi during the previous 2 kilometers, was able to hold on to a narrow 8-second advantage to clinch victory in 43 minutes and 48 seconds, his second win in this year's World Cup after the Großglockner round in Austria. Finally, in tennis, British number 1 Kyle Edmund fought back from a set down to reach the second round of the China Open with victory over Peter Gorezik. 5th seed Edmund won 3-6, 6-1, 6-2 in 91 minutes in Beijing against the world number 70 from Germany. Edmund will face Italian qualifier Matteo Berrettini or Argentina's Leonardo Mayer next. The world number 16 is playing his first competitive event since his US Open first round loss in August. That's it for sports. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back. Another local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight, mostly fair and cool conditions. Winds southeast at 6 to 13 kilometers per hour or 3 to 7 knots, becoming variable or calm at times. Seas light to moderate with significant wave heights not exceeding 1.2 meters or 4 feet. Sunrise tomorrow is at 6:01 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Tuesday, 2nd October 2018. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Nevis Island Administration provides office for opposition, and Charlestown Secondary School, winner of Independence 35 debates. Regionally, 22-year-old Trinidadian who tried to steal plane in Florida to be deported to Trinidad and Tobago. Internationally, death toll rises to nearly 1,350 regarding Indonesia's tsunami. And in sports, Kemar Roach gets all-format West Indies contract. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tammy Reed, wishing you a pleasant evening.